Okay, today we're going to be changing a drop link arm, a drop link and a lower arm, including bushes and ball joint. We've already done the other side, so obviously you need a plethora of tools and a jack, axle stands obviously to get the wheels off the floor. As you can see, that's the nice new drop link and new lower arm fitted. So we're just about to start this side now. So first things first, just take your wheel off. You should be able to just push it like this and it should just fall off and roll away. No, obviously undo the wheel nuts first. Then we get where we need to be going now. So first thing we need to do is this part of the caliper needs to come off to release the brake caliper. So at the top here, I'm just going to put my gloves on first. So at the top here we've got these rubber covers. Let's just put that off. And then you can see there's an Allen key going in there, and there's another one down here, another rubber cover here. Just want to grab that and pull that off as well. And then you're going to want a 8mm Allen key, and that's going to go straight in the back there, like that. So I'm going to get those two undone. So it's those two bolts now undone. Now what you need to do is release this. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can either get your trusty friend and just give it a bit of a tap. Going to free the caliper off a bit so that you can wiggle it off. It's not going to let me do it with one hand, so I shall release it. Okay, so we've got it released. Now there's these clips here. You need to release that. You need to release it from up the top as well. Release both. That should give us quite a bit more play on the caliper. Just so much easier with 2 hands. See this metal clip? That goes onto your brake wear sensor. That goes into there. Oop, and falls on the floor and you lose it. So very hard to do. Clip onto that. Clips onto there, and then that will clip onto there. That then plugs into that little piece here. Okay. Pull that out of the way. It's just going to fall on the floor anyway. And you can leave that other one in. So we've got the caliper released. That's just dangling on the dangling on the hose there, that's fine, won't cause any damage. And then we need to, next job is to undo these two bolts here, and you can either undo the nut first, undo the nut first there, and nut down there somewhere. I don't know if you can see that, another one down there. They are a 21 and 19, I believe. Are they 21, 21? 21, 21. Okay, 21, 21. So you need a 21mm spanner and a 21mm socket. You're going to need a breaker bar. You're going to need a breaker bar to be able to crack the nuts, and then that's those two undone. Okay, so maybe give it a little spray of grease as well, or maintenance fluid, WD-40. You get the picture, it helps. Okay, so you've got the top bolt out, just got to get the last one out, which I would suggest you just let the thread undo itself from the suspension dampener. And you want to keep going. Now, when you get to the end, it's going to go bang and drop. But it's not going to fall down dramatically, but it might just make you jump a bit. So be warned, when you get towards the end, it's probably going to go bang. Doesn't always. So getting to the end now. Okay, side. Little trick, always put your nuts and bolts back together, and that way you're not scrambling around for them, looking for them later. Keep them in pairs, you know those two are for that. So I've got all my wheel nuts, 2 rubber stops, and my 2 lowering arm springs. So now we have released that. We just need to undo this clip here, which is the cable, and undo the clip from there as well. That'll give it just a nice bit of slack for the cable, a nice bit of slack there for the cable, because this whole bit you're going to pull out. So now you've got your leg loose and you've got your arm undone. Now I would turn the steering right, on the driver's side you're going to turn the steering to the left hand side. On the passenger side you're going to turn the steering wheel to the right hand side. So basically what we're going to do is pull this arm in with the steering rack. That's going to pull that round so that we can get this nut up under here. On here. And once we've done that nut and done it, I shall show you a technique to release the arm. It's the easiest way I've ever learned. So now, as you can see, we've turned the steering full left hand down, and that now has opened up the room to get to this bottom bolt, which is obviously attached to this complete arm. The whole lower arm. So obviously we need to undo this bolt here, a bolt over here, and the bolt at the bottom. And then obviously this is the easiest way to undo this. So Let me just grab my spanners and I'll come back. Right, this should be fun. Let's see if we can do this. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 30mm on the bottom of that nut, like that. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to get this other spanner and we're going to slip it on like so to make an extension bar. That's how we're going to undo this nut. Clearly I can't do it with one hand, so I will be back. Okay, so we're going to go full right hand down on the driver's side, not left hand down, because when you're trying to undo the nut it turns the steering back the other way anyway. So now we have the nut loose, we can undo the nut. You don't need me to undo this nut, so a moment. Okay, so we're back now with full left hand down. Now we've just got this kind of hanging there, and we need to release the chamfered spline on here. And the easiest way I've found, like I say, get yourself a big lump hammer. The heavier the better. And basically you're going to go for one sweet swing and you want to hit it right here. Go one-handed, so I'm gonna have to, it will go, watch, there you go, done. Like I say, it takes two hands to hit it. You've got to hit it hard, and there you go. That's my problem. That's what the knocking was. Lower arm shagged. So that's the bottom arm out. So now we've just got the whole hub and everything, disc, caliper, not caliper but yeah, disc, all hanging on that one steering arm now. So the next thing we want to do is undo this one and undo this one. These nuts and bolts here, just about to see it in there, that one and that one. I would suggest you undo the 21 that end and the 19 that end, and then you can get a spanner on the inside ones. And then you can also undo these four and take this cover off. In fact, what we're going to do is take the cover off first, take this top mount off first, because you're going to need this piece to go to your new arm because it doesn't come with one. Well, mine didn't. So, and on the other side, these two bolts completely snapped off. So I've got to get a replacement bolt here and here for the other side. If I'm lucky enough and I get two out, then I'll put one of these in the other side, just so that I've got one on each side rather than none on one side, just until I can get some new bolts. So I will be putting them in. I just don't have any with me because I didn't think they were going to snap, so that's one for you to bear in mind. Okay, so we undone the 4 bolts. There's our 1 and 2 bolts, and then surprise surprise, the 2 in the end, here and here, sheared off again. We've got those 2 snapped off. So now all we've got to do is remove this track rod end, and that's literally a 6mm, 5mm Allen key. Slots in the end of there. Obviously he's been on for a while, so I'm probably going to have to tap that in with a hammer. And then I believe it's the 19mm. Yeah, I believe it's the 19mm. Yep, there we go, 19mm. And an Allen key. That'll stop that bit from spinning whilst you undo that bit. And me personally, I just put this in here, put the ratchet on the end of this, and then once I've loosened that off, I can undo it. Obviously, remembering life is always easier with a bit of lube. It just is. Right, let's get this drop link off then. So, I managed to slightly get it undone, and then it's ran with the Allen key end. But it's no drama because it's nice and easy to get to, and that is what the angle grinder was invented for. So they just cut in there like that. Boom. See ya. Just like that, look. It fell off. Right, and just get the other end off, and then we can get this lower arm off then. Pretty much. Undo those bolts there, and we should be able to pull it out. Fortunate for me, that one actually undone. Yep. Fortunately for me, that one actually undone. Fantastic. So what we're going to do now is just get the breaker bar out and do that there, the nut and bolt. Do that there, nut and bolt. And then this arm literally will just fall out. Little trick, when you're going to put all this back together, obviously reverse from what we've done, these top two bolts, nut and bolts, leave them loose, put all this together, put the jack underneath here, underneath the ball joint here, when it's all built, when you've got this back on and it's all about to line back up in here. Obviously you won't be able to get this into here unless you jack this up from here. That will jack the arm up, which will then engage for your bolts to go through, no problem. Use that same method to jack up the weight of these before you do these pinch bolts, and what that will do is it will prolong the life of these rubbers. You see how at the moment I press down, it springs back up. That's because they were tightened at load point. So you should always do them at load point and then tighten them, because that is where the van's going to sit most of the time. And we'll get this other one put back together, maybe do a couple of other little screenshots for you before and after, and fantastic. So as you can see, we haven't done up these bolts completely, because as I said, we want to get it under load. So yeah, just about to drop the thingy in, the bottom ball joint in, and then we just tighten that up and that will seat itself. The drop links in, and then I put the cover down, because what that does is it actually pulls the tension up on the arm, so you haven't got to hold it up. It's quite an easy way of doing it, or I feel anyway. So on to the next bit. Let's put the hub back on, and then sort out the mess of the wires, put all the wires back where they belong, get this all lining back up with the new bottom piece. Yep, and we'll go good to go from there. So as I was saying, once you get this all back up, and obviously we're going to get a couple of extra bolts to go in there before we start driving it. But yeah, so what we're going to do is obviously we need to line 2 bolt holes. They don't line up. So the easiest way to do that now is to get under here where that nut is, put the jack under there, and start pressing it up and using the weight of the van to bring this up to line up. And then you just slide your bolts in, caliper back on, pads back in, caliper back on, wheel back on. And there you go, lower arms and track rod ends, done. And there you have new drop links and a complete new lower arm. They're all ball joint and bushes. And yeah, as I say, just use the jack underneath before you do the final bushes, so that you put the weight of the van on the axle to level out the bush, and then you clamp it tight, because that's where it's going to spend most of its time. Otherwise, as soon as you hit the first bit of like hard bump and it goes flex like that right up, it's going to rip your bush if you've got it clamped at the lowest setting. So just something to remember. There you go. So there you go. How to fit your track rod ends and lower arms on a Volkswagen Crafter. This is a 2008 model.